Hi Foxes, and welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Brittany and I'm also known as SHOPFOXBURROW on sites like Poshmark and Etsy and eBay and Instagram and here on YouTube. And my channel is really all about vintage and vintage fashion and selling vintage in particular. And I also like to throw a bit of styling content in there every now and then, but for the most part, we really focus on vintage here on this channel. And so this video is one of my regular What Sold videos that come out pretty much every Monday at 8 a.m. so that you can kind of see what is selling for me and how much I am getting for different vintage items. I have been doing this since 2012, so almost 10 years of a vintage experience and just, you know, the whole process of listing online and selling I've been doing since 2012. So I like to think that I kind of know what I'm talking about, and hopefully I can share some of that information with you. And if you do like vintage and you like to sell vintage or you're interested in selling vintage, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit the little bell notification. And yeah, join our little channel of vintage lovers. So today we are going to go ahead and talk about the 4 platforms that I sell on, and that is Etsy, eBay, Poshmark, and a website called Thrilling, which I absolutely adore. And I'll kind of talk about what sold for over $20 on each of those platforms. And if I happen to remember how much I paid for something, I will let you know. I have stopped tracking it because it's not how my accountant has me doing my books, so I don't have to keep track of all the individual item prices, and I was doing it for a little while just to share with you for these videos. But because Poshmark is actually the only platform that has a slot for your cost of goods, where it's readily visible, it's just too much hassle for me to basically keep track of it outside of Poshmark. And so if I remember, I will share that with you. On average, my cost of goods is $5 or less for most items, and if I happen to pay up for something, I will almost always remember that I paid up for it, so I'll share that with you. So without further ado, I am going to switch over to screen share with you, and we are going to go over what sold for me on the 4 different platforms. So let's go ahead and do that. The dates we are looking at for this video is June 7th to June 13th. I think I was definitely experiencing some of the summer slowdown during this period, but I did make some good sales. We are going to start with Etsy, and there are actually only 3 on Etsy. This button front corduroy midi dress, this came from a wholesale order, so I paid around $4 for it. And it was a lovely size 30W, which I really rarely get in vintage, so I was very happy to get this. And I sold it for $45.99. I think it would have sold a lot faster if I listed it for, like, say, $35, but honestly, it only took about a month to sell, so I'm really not upset about how long I had to wait to get full asking price for it. And next up, these sold in one day. These lace-up ankle boots that are in real leather with, like, the hook and eyes at the top almost always sell super quickly. They're kind of like that granny booty. I used a lot of keywords for this one, just like, you know, internet trends, adventure core, goblin core, dark academia. But yes, so they sold in one day for $77.99, and then the buyer does pay shipping on Etsy, so I was very happy with that. And then the last thing that sold on Etsy for that week was this maxi dress. I did have a video up for this one, And this one sold for a full asking price of $65.99. I did have a decent amount of interest in this. Like, other people had messaged me about it to find out more details, but it did sell within, I want to say, probably 2 or 3 weeks. I think 2 weeks is how long I've had these listed with my last modeling session. So yeah, very happy with that as well. So those are the 3 that sold on Etsy. And now we will move to a pretty good week on Thrilling. The first thing to sell was this linen blend dress from Jennifer Eden. This is, again, something that I got in my wholesale order. It's not something that I would have reached for or picked up at the thrift store, but when I started to think about it, I was like, you know what, this is a pretty cute market dress, and I do like the embroidery on the top, so I did go ahead and decide to list this one, and it was just like a sort of shift style, and then I kind of stylized it with how I envisioned it being worn. This sold for $39, and so I made $35.10 on that one. And this cachet romper, this actually took a really long time to sell. This, I had done a flat lay for before I had this dress form. You can see it here. And that just wasn't selling it. So I did end up putting it on the dress form and taking photos that way. Got a lot more attention that way. But it took a while to sell. But it did sell for the full asking price, so that was $78. So I made $70.20. I don't remember exactly where I got this, but I'm pretty sure it was like a Goodwill or something like that. I paid about $6 or $7 for it. Next up, this also came from my wholesale order. This is just a sweet little shift dress, and this one sold for, let's see, $39, so I made $35.10 on that one. And these Wrangler jeans, I had it in my mind that I was going to patch these if they didn't sell as is. So I freaking love destroyed denim, and when we are at the bins, I will pick up all the like gross denim that everyone leaves behind that like really needs a soak and it's all torn to shreds, and I just love that stuff as long as it's vintage. And then this just had like little bleach splatters on it, had all these like micro holes, the knee was blown out, the thigh was blown out, so I just really liked these jeans, and then I styled them with this top. The jeans sold for $65.99, or well, I guess they sold for $66 over on Thrilling. And funny enough, you guys, this is like my dream. The top sold with the jeans over on Thrilling, but for some reason, the top had already sold on Poshmark, and I don't know why. I'm usually really vigilant about deactivating stuff across all the platforms as soon as it sells. But this top sold on Poshmark and I already shipped it. So I am waiting to hear back from the buyer. I sent them a couple other knit top options in the same size to see if they wanted to substitute it. But I was just so bummed because, you know, I always envisioned people buying things together and then it happened and I didn't have the top. So I'm still waiting to see what the buyer wants to do with that. But these did sell. And then I got, let's see, $59.40 for those jeans that I pulled out of the bins. And I did do an overnight soak, you know, make sure they were really clean. But yeah, I just love that distressed look, and it's better when you can buy it vintage. So this is the last thing that sold. And I was actually pretty surprised that this took so long to sell. This took, I'm going to say a month and a half or 2 months to sell. And it was a size 22, really cute little polka dot midi dresses, like a jersey type material, like a shirt type material. And this one did sell over on Thrilling, and it sold for $39. So I got $35.10 for that one. So I was really happy with my Thrilling sales last week, and I have been getting more sales. It seems like since that upload incentive that they did, where I didn't have any sales because so many people were uploading stuff, now I'm starting to see more sales. So I am very happy about that. We're on eBay, only 2 sales. So I have these Stitch Fix tops. I have multiple of them. I had one of the size extra large, and that sold. It sold for full asking price of $24.99 plus shipping. And then this Torrid swim cover-up got a lot of attention across the different platforms, but it sold on eBay, and it did sell for full asking price plus shipping of $29.99. And that was actually it for eBay. I feel like I did hire a virtual assistant to do my modern listings for me, so I am going to keep eBay for now because it's very convenient that they can list without having access to my account or any of, my banking information or, anything like that, that could put my account at risk. So I think that because of that, I will keep eBay because then I just end up cross-posting things to Poshmark. But at the moment, eBay is definitely very slow for me. And I've been getting a decent number of lower offers, which I don't love, but I get them on Poshmark too, so it's not particularly unusual. So I'm going to keep going with eBay, specifically because it is better for my lister to be able to create drafts without being logged into my account. So, yes. So the last platform is Poshmark, and the first thing to sell on Poshmark was this Stitch Fix Bobo cardigan, and that sold for $25. If you have not been following me, I did purchase a pallet of Stitch Fix items from B&G Trading Company. I do have a playlist about that. You can kind of see the whole process. And I paid around $5 to $6 per item. And so I would have made somewhere around $15 after fees and cost of goods on this one. And if you guys remember my haul video when I picked up this hat, and I think I paid about $7 for it, which, I was like, that's kind of a lot for a straw hat, but look, it's purple. And then I looked up the label and saw that these hats were designer hats, from the 90s, and that they were used in movies like Clueless and just other, 90s it girl movies. And so I ended up listing this one at $150. Someone came in and offered me $90. I felt like I could have sat on it for a little bit longer and gotten more, but I was happy to take $90 for this because originally I had thought I might get $35 or something. So after fees, I think I made $70-ish on that after fees and cost of goods. So that was a really good turnaround. And this one, I've had these listed for a while. These were mine. They are the most fantastic boots known to man. They're the foxglove boots from Anthropologie. And I have them in regular leather, and then I had them in white leather. Unfortunately, the white leather ones I had in a size 37 or size 7, and my foot has just gotten too big to fit into them. It was already a struggle when I had 7.5 feet, and now they're more 8 to 8.5, so there's just no way I was going to be able to get my foot in that without getting permanently stuck. And I do have them in the brown in my actual size, so I knew that I needed to sell them. I had them listed for $250. And I sent out offers of 40% off on all of the shoes in my closet over, I think, like $20 or $25 because I really needed to like get rid of some shoes. And someone countered back 100, and I couldn't do that. So I countered back, I think, 150, and then they countered 125, and I was like, I didn't, in my soul, I didn't want to sell them, but I also knew that I was never going to fit my foot back into them, so I should take my $100 and just move on with my life. So goodbye, boots, and I hope the new owner loves them as much as I did. They are fantastic. The next thing that sold was the Stitch Fix dress. I had this listed for $56. It's been listed since December, and someone sent me an offer of, I think, like 20 or something like that. And we haggled back and forth a little bit, and they finally came up to 28. And I don't know. I let it go too. So I don't want to be sitting on stuff forever. I only had one of these, and so yes. Then next up was these sunglasses. I just photographed and listed these, I think, last week. I had 3 of them, and I sold them, or I paid about $5 a pair. And then when doing my research, I learned that Urban Outfitters had gotten a hold of some of them as well, and I found this cute little photo of somebody wearing them. And then I was able to kind of port a lot of this information over to my description, and these sold for, I think, let me look at that. I think they sold for $30. But then I have already sold another pair as well, for full asking price. So definitely a good buy on that. Yeah, they sold for $30. And so I only have 1 pair left. Next was this Indian Kantha quilt that I picked up at the Goodwill Bins. I knew that it was really cool. It was kind of this like loose embroidered stitched patchwork quilt, and it did have, both sides were different. So it was like 2 layers of cotton. I don't know that it had any batting in between. It might have had like a light batting, but it did have a kind of stain on the back side, and they are more prevalent than I realized that they were. So I think I had this priced at like 30 or 35, something like that. Someone offered me $25 for it. After the weight, which I think it was about 3 pounds, so I probably paid around $4 for it from my Goodwill outlet. I made about 16. I would not pick that up again, but I did think it was cool, and that would make a nice picnic blanket. So these I also pulled out of the bins during that same trip. They were just in a little plastic baggie, and I saw those, and I was like, those look like Anthropologie knobs. And so I went ahead and tossed them in my cart. They don't have any markers on them that say that they're Anthropologie, but then I was able to use Google Lens to actually identify them, and they were Anthropologie knobs. I listed them for $65 for all of them, and then someone came in and offered me $35, and I was like, you know what, I got these out of the bins. Like, it was just fortuitous that I was right and they were Anthropologie, so I'm going to accept that. So I did, and I'm happy to get $35. Another thing that I pulled out of the bins in that same trip, I have made a good amount on that particular bins trip, but this is a Patricia Nash wallet. I thought it was really pretty. What is going on? Oh. And it did have one flaw. The zipper on the inside, the pull was missing. So I added a piece of ribbon to the pull and hopefully took an offer from the buyer. So no shipping discount. Next up was this Anthropologie dress. I picked this up at, I believe, I want to say a Goodwill. And it was a size 14, which is the real reason that I picked it up. But honestly, it fit a little bit more like a 12, 14. I don't know. I have a big chest, so it's hard for me to know exactly. But I was really happy with the price that I got for this, $50. And then the last thing was this vintage dress. I was really happy with the price of this as well. Someone came in and sent me an offer for $60, and I happily accepted. So, yep, that is what sold for me last week. Okay, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you've been having great sales or you have anything that you want to share, don't forget to leave a comment down below. I always read every comment and reply if I am able. So I will see you next time. Bye.